Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I am so excited to have on a 29-year-old from Halmstad, Sweden. His hockey journey has taken him to Sweden, the USA, Norway, France, England, and Austria. He returns to the shed a legend after episode 240 had our chocolate go global with Japps for Jesper, as he had his way with the EIHL, throwing up 41 points in only 31 games played. Perhaps no one recalls yours truly mentioning he is just realizing his muck running capabilities. If he's not careful, people may think I know what I'm talking about, as he has since moved on to Lustenau, Austria, and is having his way with the Alps Hockey League now, and for fun has tallied 39 points in just 23 games played, and is sitting third in league scoring. He has taken his sexy hockey stance around the world now, but he was raised as a from a puppy in Sweden with Vaxjo Lakers, Almtuna, and the HV71s. Then spread his hockey wings and headed for the USA and the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, where he earned his way to RPI, and he had nearly a goal a game. And then after the NCAA in his first pro season was named an assistant captain and led the team in scoring with Gruner of Norway, then mucked it up in Mangelrud in Norway, and then Amiens, France, then was showered in chocolate in the chocolatey storm shelter. Now he is the star of the Alps Hockey League and seems to be visiting the most beautiful places in all the world daily. Welcome back to the shed, Jesper Öhrvall.
Thank you very much.
Hey,
Sweet introduction you got there for me.
I did my best. It's pretty early, and the research team hadn't got hot till this morning. It's been an early morning, but we just locked down. We were doing this last night, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. I've been looking
Great
to
life,
have you
love
back
it.
on for a long time because I've been having a lot of fun in my shed. I think you know that, but wasn't that
Sure.
neat that you came on and we chatted, and then Japps for Jesper did come from Sweden to Manchester?
Yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. It started it came more and more yaps actually. So I was
Really?
really happy.
Um,
And they were like, it was a little bit tough in the beginning because they would try to come they talk about Mars bars and stuff, but for me it's not the same. But then they came up big and ordered them in from Sweden, so that was huge.
it's I honestly still sometimes just can't believe what goes on. It's like I have Jake, my head of shed marketing or director of shed
Yeah.
marketing, but other than that, I don't have a marketing team. I don't really promote this stuff. I just have fun on Instagram. And to think that there's chocolate getting shipped around the world to throw on the ice is just the funniest thing ever. And when I saw the
Yeah.
Yaps come in to Manchester, man, that just made my heart want to explode.
Yeah, that was really funny. I loved it.
But you did well, it wasn't long after you came on though. You did get injured for a while, eh? Because I didn't you weren't playing much, and I know I wanted them to hit you with the apps, you know? You weren't out
Yeah,
there much after.
no, I got injured, missed a bit, and then I came back before the playoffs, and then obviously it was like a little bit shorter playoffs than we hoped for.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It was good to see you get back though. And the
yeah,
other ways we know each other is I raved of your hockey stance last time you came on, and it inspired me that just right after you came on, I ran a skills day around Christmas, I remember,
yeah,
and it like inspired my skills day. I started with their hockey stance. I like made sure that they were bending their knees, getting their butt down, and
yeah.
that's how I started the skills day. And then like a lot of the drills when we were working on stuff, I'd have them start in their hockey stance. So thanks for inspiring me.
Anytime, I'm happy I could. That's funny. And the introduction to sexy hockey stance. That was pretty
Sec
funny.
right? Yeah, I didn't want to creep you
Yeah,
out all the way over here in Canada, but it is a sexy hockey stance. But what was cool was that at that skills day, and I take the group photo of all the kids, and then my son's just off to the side, and he was standing there in his hockey stance, and it looked a lot like yours, man.
that's
And,
hilarious.
that's what inspired me that I did get logos made with my son and daughter's hockey stance profile,
Yeah,
and it says Shed Guy and Shed Gal, and I have seen real people in like Cardiff, Wales,
yeah,
wearing Shed Guy or Shed Gal hockey jerseys with my kid's logo on it. Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, but that's awesome though.
Isn't it?
That's yeah, that's the hockey community for you.
It's a shed family we've built here, and
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Actually, after you came on was the first time I was ever ranked in Sweden too. Did you know that? Fun fact.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, but
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good sign.
that is a good
Yeah.
sign. Sharing's caring. You better put this out there, eh? Do you what are the fans like in Lustenau?
uh, it's a bit quieter, and
Is it?
like all over the league. Actually, it's not as much fans as in England.
So
But the local guys are really passionate. The one that comes every game and stuff, and yeah, we've been having a few like fan events and stuff, and it's always the same committed people that show up. So it's fun to see that
you get
that
to know
those
those people, right? The
that good
people that
hearts and that they always show up.
yeah,
What?
the people that show up to all the team stuff, right? You get to know them by the end of the year, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So that's like it's kind of fun sometimes. I still in contact with a few of the fans that reach out to me from Manchester and stuff, and they try to talk. And we had some guy ordering jerseys from me down here that we wanted shipped to England and stuff. So it's fun that when you start to getting to know some of the guys, and yeah.
That I'm starting to realize that the fans are what make hockey even more fun. They make it they make it. I posted a picture of me fighting way back in the day, and I had a guy reach out and say, "Is that with Syracuse or Dayton? Because I own your Syracuse game worn jersey," and he's in Germany, and I was like, "What?"
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
then when I
crazy.
retired and I played some volunteer senior A hockey for the Ripley Wolves. When I
Yeah.
started playing, it's like, it's just a small community where they just have the jerseys for the team. And they had fans writing to them saying, "Can we buy jerseys?" And they're like, "We don't have jerseys for sale." And those were Cardiff
Yeah.
fans. It's a small hockey world when you when you travel around, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's actually crazy. And even as some of the guys that you start playing against and then you realize, oh holy shit, we played against each other before in different leagues. And yeah, it's crazy when you start traveling around how small it is.
Well, especially once you get out in your shed and you get the research team hot, it's nearly every team that you know somebody from somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's see here. Did you know, fun fact, it started with Japps for Jesper, but our chocolate has gone global now that while there was a Santeri Harala in Manchester that was getting Carl Fagers from Finland this season. But he
Oh,
actually he just left Manchester, so I don't know what the deal is there, but he's gone now. So Carl Fagers, if you throw those on the ice now in Manchester, they're for the fellas now. I guess Santeri's not there. Now the other guys get to try them out, right?
true, true.
Yeah. And then I just had on their Norwegian player, and within a week, he asked for Freia Milk Chocolata from Norway, and within a week, the Manchester
Yeah.
fans had them there.
Yeah. Freya is the Gruner rink is right downtown. It's small rink, but it's right downtown next to the Freya chocolate factory.
Is
So
it really?
sometimes you will walk in the rink for practice and it will smell so good because it will smell the chocolate from the factory.
Man, and now we're
Yeah.
talking about it being a small world. So that guy just asked for that chocolate, and you're mucking it up with Gruner and the chocolate factories right there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I mean, sometimes it actually smells unbelievable sometimes when you walk by. So that's you
Oh,
barely don't want to go to practice. You just want to go in there and eat. But
maybe that's why your team had such bad plus minus that year.
probably, probably.
I had that written down for later, man. That team looked like a dumpster fire. There's some bad plus minuses on there.
Yeah, we had ups and downs on the games, and then obviously we always like we were a few goals behind often, pulled the goalie, and then they always scored another one or two in an empty net or two. So that would like really screw up our plus minus. That would
The
yeah,
empty netters really do
it was not
screw up your
fun.
plus
It was
minus
not
for
fun.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did head out of the chocolatey Manchester Storm, and you're now with Lustenau, Austria. How'd that all go down?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm down here with a guy that played in five last year, Michael Johansson. It's a childhood buddy. We played together when we were kids and stuff,
Oh, that's
and we
cool.
trained together in the summers back home. We're basically neighbors. So we've been talking about playing together a couple of years, and then we got opportunity to go down here together. So that was kind of a no-brainer to get
Yeah.
that to go down. So
You
yeah,
getting to
that was
play with a
awesome.
childhood buddy and pro in a different country. That's got to be cool.
Yeah, yeah. So and it's hilarious too. Like they put us together here in housing, but we're next door neighbors in housing too. So so I walk out of my door and he got the apartment right next to me. So it's actually the setup is perfect. So it's a lot of fun.
No, that is a lot of fun. And you know what else is fun is running amok. And you guys are running amok. I have it written down here. Your team, you guys have 5 guys over a point a game, and all 4 of them are Swedes.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That's
Swedish Mafia.
the Swedish Mafia. Yeah.
And then when I saw that, I just assumed that if you got your imports are all Swedes, your coach is going to be Swedish, but he wasn't, was he?
No,
No.
he's not. He's from
Oh,
here. So, but I don't know. They had a good experience with a couple of Swedes before, and they had a goalie here for a few years that was here. He left, and he's in Denmark now, I believe. Eric Hanses. And so me and Mike here signed here too, and Max and Jesper, they also know each other from before, so they're kind of like buddies from home too. So then they went all Swedes on us, and we love it. So
that's cool. And it's weird how hockey works with, well, with teams or franchises, whatever you want to call them. It's like when they have a good experience with players, they then try and find similar people. Like when I was in Bietigheim, they
yeah,
tried to get Canadian imports, and that was what they wanted because they had good experiences. And then, you know, you play the teams where they got like all the Eastern European guys, and they have like an Eastern European coach, and they play hockey totally different than Canadians. And then I find Swedes play similar to Canadians, but what I've always heard, and every Swede I've played with, like, are just great people, you know, like nice teammates. I, yeah, makes sense to me, you know.
yeah. I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, I always think Sweden is the best, so we can't say anything else.
Yeah. I'm a big Team GB fan, though. You know, even though
Yeah,
I'm not British, but I'm a huge Team GB fan. A
yeah.
lot of beauties over there.
We should get a Swede or two on that team. It's
Yeah,
only Canadians that comes in and get the passport.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this place you're living, though, let's talk about this because the pictures or videos you send of like just eating lunch, I'm like, I've never seen a place like that in my life. Like you're seeing places that like I only see in like documentaries or movies.
Yeah, I mean, the city itself down here is like a really small city, and not a lot of people, but it's so close and convenient to get around to to the ski resorts and down to Italy. Like we're basically right on the border. Like I see the Swiss mountains and the Austrian mountains from my apartments. I live right on the border. You can just go over to Switzerland. It's 30 minutes to go to Germany, and then it's about a couple of hours to go to Italy. So it's like traveling around, seeing stuff when we get days off. It's like just perfect. Like we would get a Sunday or Monday off. We can go like to any close places and just see some stuff. And the ski resorts obviously around here are amazing. So
Do you ski during the season?
and not during the season. I It
Right.
was close. It was very
Yeah.
close, I will
Right.
tell you. But I'll try to stay off the slopes until the season is done. So
Well,
uh,
if I'm in the honest tree in my shed here, I definitely did ski during hockey seasons in Germany.
yeah, I just heard a couple of weeks ago that our coach, I think when he played down here, he skied during the season and got injured.
Oh, really? So now
So
he's probably a
I don't know.
soft spot
I
for him
don't want
now,
to
eh?
make up. Yeah, I don't know if I have the balls to make those same mistakes. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is weird when you're a hockey guy. There's like a certain age where you have to stop doing stuff, and because you can't get hurt. And I found it interesting that I'm coaching under 13 boys, and their school's having a ski trip, and parents like asked me if it's okay or what I thought of their kids trying skiing. And I was
yeah,
like, they're an under 13 hockey. Like, if I'm going to tell them they can't go live life in under 13 hockey, I'm embarrassed for myself.
yeah,
They should go try skiing, have a time. You're an under 13. go enjoy your life. It ain't that serious yet, you know?
No, and I mean, it might help you all do all different stuff and try stuff with like get to know your body and the movement and everything. I just think that's good for you. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
agree.
skied last time I skied was actually like 10 years ago though. It was right after my last year of juniors in Sweden. We got allowed to go skiing, but we actually needed to ask for permission. but uh, but yeah, and then since then, that's the thing too. If I would have skied a few times during these years, I maybe would have been more comfortable like
To
doing
do
it,
it
right?
during
But
this.
like
Yeah, yeah.
10 years off the snow and then jump right back in during the season might not be the smartest idea.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. So I think I have a pretty good idea where you're at then, because I've been down in that area. Is like the
Yeah,
Bodensee by there?
yeah, both like the sea, like the lake is just about like 15-20 minutes from here. So
One
like,
of one of our breaks we would have got where you get a few days off. I think it was like when they made us run around tracks all of July. It drove me crazy. But
really?
then they'd give us days off at the end, and
Yeah,
we went down to yes, like everything's cheap in Germany, but then if you cross the border to Switzerland, everything is way more money, and it's just like crossing a line. And
yeah.
it's a beautiful place in the world. And then like you have all the mountains, and yeah, there's fun to be had around there.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Now, yeah, and the mountains are beautiful. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
in Sweden we have them up north, right? But like from down south where I'm from, I don't really see any mountains. It's very, very flat. So it's good. It's good
I
to
got
see it
no
when it's
mountains
there.
around here, bud.
But
But it's true though. If I don't know what it is, looking at mountains or looking at water can calm you down, right?
definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I got water to look at. No mountains, but I got water. So what's the barn like in Lustenau?
A little bit older, like wooden barn. I would really say like a barn.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love
but
that shit.
yeah, it's like it's pretty loud. It was actually funny. Like a few weeks ago, we had a home game, and they brought in like a marching band. So I was like almost feeling like I was back in college. I was like, when I walked up to
The
warm up, I was like, what is going on here? But I was like, you really had throwbacks from the college times.
yeah, and the marching bands are a thing in college, eh? And I mean, I talked to a lot of people. I kind of forgot you played NCAA until the research team
Yeah,
just got hot again.
yeah,
And well, my goal or my dream, I've been telling people, is next season, if I'm coaching a squad and I get to pick our weekends and everything, I want to take
yeah,
a Canadian team, under 13 boys, to Western Michigan, to my old honey hole, and have them
yeah.
see an NCAA game, see the marching bands, see the student section. I don't know if you ever played at Western Michigan, but man, it's a circus there.
Yeah, I know. I never played there. They actually recruited me a little bit, but
Is that
no, I
right?
never played. Yeah. So
What
no,
would you
I
have
think
against Western Michigan? You didn't go see it, did you?
no. I took.
If you would have
I
seen it, you would
visited.
have wanted to be there.
I visited Denver, Ohio State, Mankato, and RPI,
So
and then
how'd you
I picked
choose
RPI.
RPI? Those are big schools, man.
Uh yeah. I mean, it was. Both me and my brother committed at the same time, and the RPI
Right.
promised to bring him in as a true freshman right out of a USHL, and I also just. Got a really good feeling about Seth Appert. That was the coach there at the time. So like, yeah, I didn't obviously I didn't know much about college when I decided to go see this and all do that. But I mean, my gut feeling just told me I should go to RPI.
Yeah.
So I went.
Was that guy the coach there all 3 years you were there?
No, unfortunately not. Like
I
he
could
got
tell.
released. Yeah, he got released right when my brother was gonna come in, and yeah, it was a little bit of it was a lot of people that had turnovers that left and other stuff too. So both me and my brother decided to leave. So it was
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, hockey coaches want their people and their guys, right? But players
yeah,
also want to play for guys that want them. You want to be wanted. And
yeah,
NCAA is different that way because back when I was playing, wherever you went and committed to, like you were there for 4 years. There wasn't
yeah,
transferring. If you transferred, you sat out a year. Like now they have this transfer portal where kids are switching teams all the time. And I mean,
yeah,
in situations like you were in, it's a good thing that you could leave. But um, I mean,
yeah. But we didn't have the transfer portal when I left, but we found out a loophole that if you finish your first degree, you didn't need to sit out for a year, right? So like my last semester at RPI, I loaded up. I took 28 credits my last semester.
while you were
Uh,
playing.
What?
While you were playing the end of the
Yeah,
season
yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
would have been a
just to
busy
like,
boy,
just to
eh?
be able to. Yeah, and then a couple of summer classes in order to get everything to get my degree done, so I could switch over to without sitting out there. So yeah, it
Well
was
played.
definitely a busy semester, I would tell you.
Yeah, no kidding. Kind of like doing your
Yeah,
MBA with two little kids in Cardiff. In England.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That is
Oh,
true.
that was a busy year.
Yeah,
So Austria, let's talk about this. What's the food
yeah,
game like? It's schnitzels and stuff, right? It's kind of like German food, isn't it?
yeah. It's very like the Wiener Schnitzel is very famous, and like they eat it with lingonberries and stuff. I haven't tried it so much though. I'm actually gluten free, which is kind of a sad scenario down here because the Schnitzel
Did
is
you say
supposed to
you're
be.
gluten free?
Yeah. My
Oh,
allergies since I was a kid.
I have
So
been around guys like that. That I mean, you get used to it, right? But you're always having to find different stuff than the normal stuff, eh?
yeah, and it's kind of like yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff you eat around the team too, like is pasta and everything, and like they always have to get the rice or potatoes for me, and
Yeah.
I try to like I just eat mostly rice and meat when we go with the team. Uh, but it's hard too because like sometimes all the sauces they use down here they put in like stuff that is contains gluten, right? So sometimes I'm just eating like rice and salad and meat with no sauce. And
I don't think
yeah,
I
I
could
mean,
be gluten free. I think I'd have to just fight through the allergies.
I know,
Probably be
it
shitting my
sucks,
pants
but
all day.
yeah, but yeah, it's not good. But yeah, and then every once in a while when I travel, I have a cheat day and I try something, and sometimes it's been like working okay if I have it once, but then sometimes it's not. So it's always a gamble, and you don't really wanna do it too often.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
One of the guys you'd be playing with this season was also showered in chocolate, and he's also running amok. Anthony DeLuca.
Yeah.
Have you played against him this season then?
Yeah, we played against him on the road, and we play them here at home in a few weeks, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, he looks like he's doing pretty well too.
Yeah, he's been getting really hot here a couple of games. Yeah, a couple of 4 goal games, I believe, or something like that.
Really?
So yeah,
Um,
that is
well,
really
do
impressive.
you think anybody in Lustenau is going to listen to us and listen that you want Japps for Jesper in Lustenau? They, I don't know. You'd have to
Maybe.
probably share this, and then maybe one of the super fans will get Japps and chuck them on the ice in Austria, right? We've never had chocolate thrown on the ice in Austria,
No, I would hope so. It's
right?
actually pretty funny. Like they sometimes play the Swedish music for us. So
That's cool.
after a couple of wins, they've been playing a Swedish band called Bolaget, which like we love. And actually, Max is his favorite song. I think he plays that song all the time. So they played it when we were skating out on the ice after the game. So that was pretty funny, actually.
What's this song called?
It's called Bolaget. Yeah, I can send it to you after, so you have
Yeah,
it.
I was
Yeah,
thinking maybe
it's
I'd
hard.
play
It's
that
way
tune
too
when
hard
I
for you to
post
spell
that we
that.
talked in the middle of the night. I was thinking I'd play
Yeah,
that song as the song in the
yeah,
background, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, it's a good song. It's very popular in Sweden. So no, it's
Uh,
funny like they do stuff like that, and I mean it's like it makes you feel more like home when you're down here with a couple of sweets and just those small stuff, right? So
100% when people probably don't realize, right? They probably think, hockey players, they're just always happy and everything's always easy. But like moving around the world and you've never been in a place, you don't know the people, like
yeah,
it can take the small things to make it feel like home, right? It's like how
yeah,
welcoming the people are of that town make it feel
yeah.
like home, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, here is like everything around the team and everyone speaks English and everything is good that way. But like, if you go to a grocery store and like you need to ask someone something, and most of them like struggle with
With
telling you
English.
something in English. So
Yeah.
sometimes it can be like pretty hard to
Oh
like
yeah.
get around in some places. And yeah, I mean,
I agree. When I went to Germany, I mean, the older Germans, they didn't really know much English, and I remember going to the first few restaurants, and it's like when you're not in the big cities where tourists go to,
yeah,
the menus are straight German. There is no English
yeah,
anywhere, and I remember the first couple times I ordered off a menu, like I was just guessing.
yeah. And imagine you need to be gluten free at the same time there.
That's
That's a
not going to be
struggle for you,
easy.
I will
Yeah.
tell you.
Oh, I remember the first time my wife went into the grocery store. She never came out with any food because it was too much with you know, not being able to
Yeah,
communicate.
actually, what helps us a lot down here is like the Google Translate app has a thing where you can take pictures, right? And it just translates whatever words are in the picture. So
No.
now we're running around the grocery store with our phones and like take pictures of like the food and stuff we want to buy to see what's in it.
You take a picture with your phone and it tells you in Swedish what it is.
Yeah, you pick any language what it's from and identify the language that is on the whatever you take the picture on, and then it translates it into the language you want. And I mean, it's not 100% perfect grammar
But
wise, but like for
yeah,
knowing what's inside the food, it's perfect.
man, it's so different the world than like when I first went over there, man, when I was
Yeah,
on buses, like I at the start I was reading novels because like I didn't have any technology to like kill the time. And then
yeah,
it was a big day when I got a portable DVD player, you know. I
yeah,
killed some
yeah,
time. But like now the things like look at we're talking right now, you're in Austria and I'm here and you can stay in contact with people. It is way easier with technology, like you're saying, to probably work your way around the other countries, right?
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Um, okay, let's see here. Um, some of those places you had lunch though, like there was one, you were up on in some restaurant like the top of the world and you're on top of all the mountains and
Yeah.
like lunch can't be cheap in a place like that.
It wasn't. I mean, they don't. The problem is they don't really do lunch much here. Like if they have like in Sweden, we always have a lunch menu,
Yeah.
but they just have like the kind of the menu for the whole day basically.
Hmm.
But like some of the places I was thinking was gonna be even more expensive actually. But I mean, it's when you
Well,
go up and see that view, it's kind of like yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of worth it. But
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and it's we were in it was a storm,
Oh,
so all the snow and everything, it was just beautiful. So
well,
yeah,
yeah. So you're taking a gondola up there then, eh?
yeah. So you take a gondola up, and it's like restaurants up there, and it's nice because like when you get up there too, like you get a lot closer to the sun, right? So when you're actually sitting out sun, the sun heats you up a little bit, so
That
like you
makes
can sit
sense.
outside and have a coffee or whatever, and you're not freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
So I know I think it's really fun, like enjoyable just to go up and actually enjoy the sun too. So
Yeah, just relax. I
yeah,
it brings back memories. It's like we don't have like mountains here.
yeah,
When I went over to Europe and you take the gondola ride up, whether you're skiing or not, man, the restaurants, the atmosphere, the people are just relaxed, having fun, right?
yeah. So and I think the best part right now, I feel like it's not fully tourist season yet, right? So
Yeah,
like when we go up there, it's not like super crowded. You don't need to wait to get a table or everything. We just like pop in and then like you eat and you do your stuff and you enjoy the time, and it's kind of more calm and relaxed than it is like full tourist season. So
full tourist season, yeah, like when it's packed and it's a huge line just to get a drink or food or anything,
yeah,
right? Yeah, I
yeah,
hear you. Yeah, it brings back memories. When I retired way
yeah,
back in 2015, 16, the end of the season,
yeah,
before I retired, 11 of us from the Cardiff Devils went skiing in France in Morzine. And I couldn't ski because of my bad knee, but I just went for fun and I had fun and
yeah.
it was something.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was. I did take because they were eating food halfway down the mountain.
Yeah,
They were skied all day and then they had a big thing planned at one of the huts because one of the guys played there. I
yeah,
had to take a little red saucer down the mountain because I couldn't ski on my knee. So I sat on a little
yeah.
red saucer and I rode all the way down like one of the biggest mountains in the world. And it was one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life and stupidest, you know?
Yeah, sounds like fun for sure.
Yeah. Here's one I don't know if the research team had found before. It was a bit of a scramble this morning. When you went to Mangelrud, Norway, your coach was Corey Nielsen.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah, it
he's a
was.
beauty. He won't come to the shed. He's scared of the shed, but
He's
he's a
scared of
beauty.
his head.
Yeah. He's a
No,
funny dude, man.
yeah, it's really funny actually. Like but it was so I came when I came there, he was not the coach. But then this my second year when I stayed, he was the coach in the beginning there.
Okay.
But yeah, I love Corey, so
Yeah. Well, I've
so
had
it's
his
too
two
bad you
boys
can't
on.
get him on the set.
No, no, I went to the testimonial in Cardiff and I just
Yeah.
mentioned it, and no, no, he won't.
No, he's a funny dude.
Oh, he had me belly laughing, explaining why he wasn't coming. But
I can only imagine that.
oh God, yeah. And his boys, Kate and Logan, are shed guys, and they actually had the nuts to come to the shed, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Here's a random question then. So you
Yeah,
left Sweden after the Junior 20 Super Elite in 2013-14. Makes me feel old. I was pretty well done by then. But
yeah.
you go to the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. Why did you leave Sweden back then and go to Fairbanks? Because it looks like you're about ready to break into pro in Sweden, like make money.
Yeah, I kind of was hoping to. I wanted to go before actually to the States because I was still a little bit. I was interested in the college route, and when I was in
So why
Sweden,
was that? How did you get interested in the college route as a young Swedish boy?
Bemidji was actually recruiting in Sweden. Uh, so that's how I started to find out. I was talking to those guys,
Shout
and
out to
then
Matt Dalton, my favorite South Korean goalie.
yeah, and then I mean, then I started looking into it more and more, and I wanted to leave earlier actually, but then my mom and dad told me I needed to finish high school back home. Uh, and then my year after was I stayed another year, and then when I got the chance, I went. And my agent had a guy that was in Fairbanks and loved it. That also went to RPI just before me, right? So
Somebody blazed the path for you. It's interesting how somebody's got to go
yeah,
do it from somewhere to get the like
yeah.
pipeline going, right?
Yeah, and then once again, like when I went to Fairbanks too, it was me and another friend of mine from H271. We went together, so it's always more fun when you find a place where you can go with someone you know and experience it together, so you don't like
Well,
fly
to
out there.
just to have that support and that buddy
Yeah,
with you when you're trying to figure shit out in a different country, right?
yeah. And I will tell you, my English wasn't great when I came over there. Like
That's
it's
what I was gonna ask was what your English was like. Like how much English are you guys learning in school coming up?
like we do learn a lot of English in school, but I passed my last exam of high school to pass like the course. It was not good. And then like
You had
when
to
I came
battle, you
home,
had to grind it out, you had to muck it up.
yeah, yeah, language was never my like easy stuff in school. Like I was way easier with math and shit. But then like when I came over, it like was way easier when you got into it. But it was a couple of funny moments there in the beginning. I remember first time it was like local TV interview or whatever, and I didn't barely understand what the guy was asking me. So it was like I think I said what about 120 times during those 5 minutes, and the guys was like laughing pretty hard when they were watching it. So
That's why that's like when I went to Germany, they just never interview me for anything ever because they knew I hardly spoke German. But
yeah,
yeah, it makes it easier.
yeah. It's same down here. It's hard sometimes when like it's after the games. It's a lot of small kids down here that come to the game, and I love that. And like they always stand outside the locker room, and then they come in and like want stuff signed after the games and stuff when we win. And sometimes they ask you something in German, and you almost like I feel bad not being able to like answer back to them in German. I really wish like I could, but I barely speak a word German. Like
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
it's
it does make your life way better being able to speak the language of the country you're in. Is
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't put in, it's like you first go to Germany and I don't know how long I'm gonna be there. I mean, I'm like 23 years old or whatever, and I never really put in the effort to learn German for the first few years because like
no,
you don't know how long you're gonna be there. It seems like a lot of work to learn it. And then come 4 years into it and I've just picked it up like being around it for so long.
yeah,
It makes your life so much better in a country when you can mix it up, talk to people, and like order what you want, know what you're doing. It's like I did. I may or may not have done like an unemployment meeting in German and got unemployment for the summer. But I did it all in German, and like that was a pretty neat day.
that is really impressive, actually. That's very impressive.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty fun summer when you can fly back to Canada and you still
Yeah,
get paid.
definitely. Yeah, I heard some great stories. I heard something about like if you get unemployment if you play more than 5 months or something in France too, or stuff
Well,
like that.
man, I'd never like been around it. I never did it until I was comfortable and could speak German. But man, what a life changer it is when you're back home in Canada and you're I mean, you're getting 2,000 euros a month and you're just hanging out in the summer. And it's not even a team paying you.
No,
Yeah, it's good
not much.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud, folks. If any players are over in Germany and know German, you should probably try and do it.
Can
Um,
recommend it.
so anyways, how many games you guys got playing that season?
We play a few more here in the around the holidays and after, and then they break it into like three different paths. I feel like it's top six go, they're already done for playoffs, and they go into a separate pool, and then it's two other pools, if I understand it right, where you
Relegation and then
really, yeah, you like, so you go in, and then two teams from each of those pools play to get the last two playoff spots. So it's like
oh,
it's not fully, it's not like relegation where they go down, but you compete to get the last two playoff spots. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I never really experienced a breakdown like that, so it's gonna be interesting to see how
Yeah,
that
I'm
goes
still
down.
kind of curious though, because then you break that into two groups. It's like, well, when do they play all those games to like what's going on in the real playoffs while those teams are all playing? Like,
No, so like the top team in sixth place, I think 10 games against each other.
and then
Uh,
that ranks them for the playoffs.
yeah, that ranks them for the playoffs, and then the other teams play, I think, 8 games. But you also, like, depending on where you come in the standing, you come into those pools with points. So if you rank like seventh or eighth in the and want to get into the playoff, you're in a much better spot than if you're like ranked last, right?
Hmm.
And then after those 8 games, you go into a series with the top team from each of those two pools playing the second. So it's 4 teams that like qualify into the real playoff after those pools.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
What place are you guys in right now?
eighth, I believe. So I mean,
Who are the top teams in that league?
Ritten has been doing really well lately. Selam Se was really good at all the way. They struggle a little bit lately, but so Ritten is ahead right now, I believe. But
Okay.
Sel was like been leading the league for most of the season so far.
Okay. Well, it's weird how much I'm into hockey now in different leagues, and it's like now that I know you and I know what team you're playing on, and I'm
Yeah,
a big fan, then now I'm gonna like check how you guys do.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't pay attention to nothing for like 5 years.
No, no, that's crazy.
I just saw that Cardiff got eliminated in the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup yesterday. That's sad,
Saw that too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that too.
I think it was at home too. Not that sucks, man. They'd be
Yeah,
sour.
I mean,
There's gonna be
yeah,
some sour
it's not.
folks around Cardiff right now.
Yeah, I can't believe Barrow is probably not too happy about it. Huh?
Right. So he was your line mate. You guys were running a muck. I have you both on, and then you both got injured.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Those are
Yeah, I
the
mean, it was
opposite of shed boosts, and you don't need a shed boost right now. You're
no.
doing just fine.
Yeah, we're doing okay, but we can still get a little bit of a boost. I'll tell you.
Absolutely.
I
Especially if
never turned
somebody
down a
gets a
boost.
yap for Jesper and
Yeah,
gosh darn Lustenau, Austria, right?
yeah, correct.
Yeah. Well, we don't have Jake over there, so I'm not sure what's going to happen if anybody's going to listen to us or not today.
No, we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Jeepers, I really had the research team was struggling at 5:30 this morning. So when you were in Norway, okay, you went there, you were on that Gruner team at the chocolate factory. You guys weren't very good, but you led your team in scoring. So then I'm guessing Mangelrud's a bit bigger budget team and you went there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love the. It's another Oslo team, and I just love the city too. When I like the first year when I was in Gruner, that was the first year that they were in the top league. So it was kind of a tough spot for them. I think they did a really good stuff with bringing in the guys that came to that team
Yeah.
as a first year team in the top league. But they also, like, obviously it was a lot of guys that came with up from the second league, and it was like a mix of what was like what had been before and what was going to go for the future.
Mhm.
So it was like a big transition period, kind of that first year. And
Well,
yeah,
that's what happens, right? It happens in Germany too. It's like you'll have a third league team that works their way up to the second league, or a
yeah,
second league team that works their way up to the first league. And like there are guys, and the reason they won, they're good enough to play in that next league. But then there's
yeah.
also guys that aren't.
No, and then but the crazy thing for was too like we sometimes we would like lose to like shitty teams by a lot of goals almost. Like I feel like the team that were just ahead of us, and then but then the next day we would beat the top team in the league, and we were like, what? So it was
Right.
a lot of like no consistency, but it was a lot like we had good periods when we were like actually played really well as a team, and then we had shittier periods too for sure.
Right. I gotta tell you what I'm doing the rest of the day. It's pretty neat, this hockey family that I've started here. So I mucked it up with
Yeah,
Derek Nesbitt all over the world well, he beat us in the Coast Finals with Idaho, but then we played Ferris State against Western Michigan. And then I have him to the shed, and he's now the head coach in Atlanta in the Coast. But just through all this, got in contact with his brother, who is coaching against me in under 13 hockey. He coaches the Mid Huron Huskies, and we get chatting. And I said, I'm going to a tournament in Windsor with my squad. And he's like, oh, we got a family member on that team, and I can reach out and get you fellows to meet him. And sure to shit, he gives me the kid's old man's number, who's a Nesbitt first cousin, and he's like, of course we can make that happen. And I just wrote like, that's hockey. So a guy I've never met and his son who plays OHL is gonna let my whole team come down and meet him after the game. And it's all people helping people, right? That's hockey.
hockey. That's just sweet.
It is. A great shed family we've built here. And thanks, Nesbits. You guys are hockey folks, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. So Mangalrood, though, you were there. That was like right during all the baloney, right? COVID
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. We got shut down already after, or we they shut down the league whenever we're gonna COVID hit, like around New Year's again. My first, like when I was in Mangalore, and then we were in practicing in like small groups, and they put us and Vålerenga and Gruner in a hub in Vålerenga's rink downtown Oslo. So we were only allowed to practice there for a while, and then they just shut down the season. So we practiced in small groups and practiced scrimmage and stuff for like a couple of months there for no reason basically, and then it was done.
That would have been a whole different hockey experience that season than like what
Yeah,
you,
that was it
yeah.
was very different. So yeah, that
Okay.
was crazy.
Yeah. So then you go back there the next season.
Yeah.
And you said Corey was the coach at the start, but not when you
Yep.
left.
No, he was there for a while and in the beginning, and then we Manglun and Corey went separate ways, and we had a Norwegian guy come in. So he was the guy that when I left.
Yeah. I Man, now that like I'm back in the hockey world and you start seeing how many coaches leave
Yeah,
or get fired during seasons in Europe, it's quite the work line of work. That's what I was trying to say. Like those coaches, man, they got to be willing to move.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean it's yeah. I mean it's a kind of a little bit different. I feel like in coaching in Europe here, like it moves around a lot actually. So
Come those national team breaks in November, man, there's like a lot of
yeah.
coaches getting
It's like
gassed.
yeah, when you see those like national teams comes up, and it's a lot of moves that happens around Europe. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like the coaches get till the November break, and if you're not doing well, we're bringing in
Yeah,
the next guy.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
I just wonder, and this is just me thinking out loud in my shed again. It's like, well, if these teams like got a coach that they believed in, maybe instead of saving that extra money for the November break to bring in the next coach, maybe just give him more money to pay more better players to play better, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Maybe.
I mean,
Who knows?
yeah.
Just thinking
Coach
out
is
loud.
always important, right? But if he's
Coaching
not on the
is
ice,
very important. There's no doubt about it. Coaching is a massive
no,
part. And when you have the wrong guy, it's not going to get better.
no. But at the same time, you always need good players on the ice. So bringing in new players and giving him the tools is always something that could be good for sure.
I agree. So you did leave Mangelrood for Amiens, France.
Yeah,
They're one of the better teams in France usually, aren't they?
yeah, yeah. They came down there like a couple games. I think I played 9 games in the regular season and then the playoffs, and we were supposed to be to go a little further too, but we lost in the quarter there to Sergi, which was I thought was a shame. But I
Yeah.
mean that's how it goes in hockey sometimes.
I hear you.
Uh,
And then after that, though, you do head to Manchester. I do recall discussing how you got there. Was you knew Finner from like your hometown or something, right?
yeah, his wife actually was is from a small city just outside my hometown. So he got married in Sweden too. I feel like, and he had his honeymoon at the one of the hotels there in my hometown actually.
It's a
So that
small world,
we
but
had coffee there in the summer, which was pretty funny.
so obviously getting hurt sucks in hockey. I've been through it. It's just the worst, especially when you've been running amok, right? Like last
Yeah,
season, you were having a time. But
yeah.
how was your experience in Manchester other than getting hurt?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Like the city was unreal. Like, I mean, there was obviously I'm a soccer fan too, so we got to experience a lot of like the Man U and Man City games, and yeah, we had a couple buddies there that would give us like free tickets to the United games and stuff. So that was shout out to them. That was big time.
That is big time.
And
I've watched a couple documentaries lately, like the Beckham one and the Wayne
yeah,
Rooney one.
yeah,
And like for me to think it's like so like how big of stars these guys are and like
yeah,
how big of a deal this is. And it's like and I'm getting chocolate thrown on the ice in the Manchester hockey arena, you know? I'm
yeah,
part of Manchester's sporting history too, right?
definitely, definitely, definitely.
Did
So
did you know I'm a sponsor of the team now?
no, I didn't know that.
On
I didn't
Critch's
know that.
jersey above his name, two ales and
Yeah.
hockey tails logo.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. That's perfect.
It is hilarious. It's as funny as hockey gets.
Yeah, but I like that. I like it when you can like buy as like a smaller thing. You can buy a little bit of a piece of a jersey, like on a player you like or something. I think that's really like
Well, and it's
funny.
like the same with the players. It's like I remember the North American culture was like, you can't put anything on jerseys. It's about logo. And it's like, well, actually, hockey players want to get paid. And if people are willing to put their logo on your jersey for money, why wouldn't you take the money and put that on the jersey?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's super fun for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Every time I see
it is.
Critch get in a fight or scored a goal and then I see my logo on the back of his jersey, it just makes me giggle.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then like that chocolate did start while you were there, right? So was it not
Yeah,
kind of interesting how like it had never happened and then all of a sudden it started and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger?
yeah, it was, and I think I even at one point there I got a little box in my spot in the locker room while I was injured, from the fans with it was filled with chocolate just for me, and it was a little note that said we hope you get better soon. So
That's
it got to
so
me
hockey, does it?
even though I was not playing.
And that's pretty cool. And it's like we
Yeah,
talk about when you move to a new city or country and feeling at home, right? When fans
yeah,
do something like that, it means a lot to a guy, right?
yeah. It does. It does. It's always fun to see that they care about you. So that's nice.
Well, yeah, I big fan. I actually have never really seen you play. I think I saw one highlight of you scoring a goal, but other than that, I've only seen your hockey stats. But now that you're having your way with Lustenau, what are your aspirations? You're 29 years old and you're just, I still think you're just coming into your own, man. You stay healthy and you keep running mucks. Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I don't
It's
know.
the options really, right? Is like you can keep trying to climb the ladder and see how much money you can make, or you try and find a place that like loves you and find a home, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's and I haven't really thought too much about it. I try to take one season at a time. My agent called me here in November. He's like, "Yeah, you got an offer for next year." I was like, "What do you mean? It's November." And he was he was like, "Yeah, we don't need to like think about it now. You have a lot of time, but it's just like I kind of I want to finish off in one spot as good as I can before I really decide what I want to do next." So
Yeah, no, and you just got to focus on what you're doing, right? Or you,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, you got to enjoy wherever you are. I don't know where we're at when it's the
yeah,
morning. Sometimes you got to do things, or else you can't think clearly. Um, anyways, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna be getting a lot more offers. But when you said you got an offer in November, man, it's so confusing in Europe. where they can be signing guys for the next season with a different team, like
Yeah.
in November.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it feels weird. Like I mean, I haven't closed my doors to anything. I haven't closed my doors to staying here. So I mean, why? Like, it just feels weird. Like if you would sign for a different team in November and then go play here for the rest of the season, and like that for me that would be weird. So
100%. I thought it was weird too. I remember in Germany, my first year when we're in the playoffs, I got offered contracts by the two teams we played in the first two rounds for the next
yeah,
season. And it's like, I'm in the middle
yeah,
of a playoff drive here. I don't need to be thinking
yeah,
about
I know.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a whole different world when you can just sign whenever you want.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's way different actually.
The other thing I got that I just thought of is you said you practice at like 5 at night tonight. So I'm guessing in that league, you probably got some guys that work during the day, and that's why you practice at night.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. Like for us, we have a couple of guys that work, right, and then you have other teams in the league that are fully pro. So it's like,
Tough to
yeah,
compete with that.
yeah, it's like so you see Cell, they all pros, for example, and they when they come, like they just been traveling, and like the day before they have nothing to do, while our guys sometimes have been like working and
Yeah.
going from the work to the games. And yeah, I mean it's different for sure. I do think the guys like handle it well though, and they show up and like compete in practice and do stuff the right way. So I mean that's good to see. But obviously, it's a lot easier if you're all pros.
Well, and also I found I in Hellbron we practiced in the evening because we had these puppies that would practice with Mannheim in the morning and then come
Yeah,
practice with us at night.
yeah,
They were playing a lot of hockey, but I found waiting around all day to practice at night sucked. I like getting up, going to practice, you get her done, and then the fellas can hit lunch together, you know?
yeah. I mean, that's definitely the way I feel too. But I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we usually go to the rink anyways in the morning and do gym and other stuff too. So it's not that we stay at home all day. But yeah, it is tough to like wait around until the evening and
Yeah.
I mean, just my I'm a big fan of going to bed early. So it kind of fucks up my sleep schedule a little bit during the
You,
weeks there.
you
When you
like
get
how
home,
like what time are you going to bed if you got to choose?
if I could go to bed at like 10, that's perfect. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's I mean it's not super early, but I mean it's I'm
No,
more of a I
that
need my sleep. I need my beauty sleep. I need like 10 hours. Otherwise, I don't function.
I
Uh,
I understand. I excelled at nap or sleeping as a pro hockey player. I was a great napper. I probably didn't go to bed
yeah.
at 10 at
Oh,
night, but I'd get right into the Netflix a little too late, and then man, I could bury some naps the next day.
yeah. But like, a couple naps on game days. That's my go-to. Double
What?
nap on game day. But
Double nap?
I
What's
got
a
this
double
ring.
nap? What's a double nap?
It's an app and like about an hour app earlier in the day, and then a 35-minute nap later on before I need to eat and go to the rink.
I've
It's
never
two
heard of
naps.
a double nap.
Oh yeah, it's go to. It's big
Really?
time.
So
Yeah.
are you napping before pregame meal and then eating pregame meal and then back to bed?
No, I usually I nap like I get up and stuff and do stuff. I get out and do whatever, go to the rink or what I want to do, and then I have a little short an hour nap there around lunchtime, and then I get up and do some stuff, and then right before I'm gonna eat my pregame, I have a 35 minute that I just lay down for a little short nap
Did you
there.
say before your pregame meal you have another one?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, that's odd behavior.
Need my sleep.
I used to like eat as much as I could around noon, like,
Yeah.
food coma, and then I would nap for like as long as it took, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like that too. A lot of the guys I know in the States too, we had pregame meal earlier and
Yeah.
then they only had a snack before the game. But I eat lunch 2 times before the game. So I eat like my lunch at like lunchtime and then
Yeah.
I eat again usually the same meal about like 4 hours before the game. So I eat like more of two like full meals and not just like a snack.
That makes I mean that's probably healthier than what I was doing, just crushing a ton of food and then getting horizontal. Yeah,
Yeah.
eating smaller meals makes a little bit more sense. The double nap, I don't know how I could fall asleep the second time though.
I mean, no problem for me.
Just
I don't
do it,
know.
eh?
I
Just
always,
do
I
it.
always just like fall asleep
Well,
everywhere.
whatever you're doing, you should
So it
probably
does-
keep doing it.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Um, Geez, I don't know what else I got other than I hope that someone in Lustenau listens to us, right? Sharing's
Yeah,
caring, Jesper, get it out there. And then hopefully someone will import a yap and chuck it on the ice, right?
yeah, yeah. I hope so too. That would be really fun.
Yeah. And tell your boy there that you're the kid you grew up with that lives by you. You should come to the shed. I bet he's a shed guy too, because you are,
Yeah, definitely,
right?
definitely.
Shed guys know
Oh,
shed guys.
they do. Shed
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, yeah. And what I love about this thing I've started is I think I can help people get their name out there in hockey, have more people know who they are. Because if you look at the people following, it's not really fans, it's mainly hockey dudes. And
Yeah,
it's interesting when you're as old as me that all the guys you came up with and all the guys you were competing with and all the guys that you have respect for each other and you know who the shed guys were, all those people have like hockey jobs now,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And if I
yeah. That's
say
funny.
someone's a shed guy, they're a shed guy, and you're a
Yeah,
shed guy, you know?
definitely,
And you
definitely.
run mucks. What did I say here? You have how many 39 points in 23 games played. That's a lot.
Yeah, I
I don't know
mean,
if you knew that.
I not exactly, but I knew it was up there in the top. But I wanted to be obviously in the top.
Yeah, I
I think
know.
I think I have about a bar a game too, to be honest.
Ah. Yeah, like I was in some scoring races in my past and it can get the juices flowing. Like you want to finish in first place with your team, but also a good
Yeah,
healthy scoring race is pretty gosh darn fun too.
yeah, it's fun, but it's like obviously like if we win as a team and we score a lot of goals, then you're gonna get up there too. So it's I
Yeah.
feel like it goes both ways. It's if we win hockey games, we're gonna score goals, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
be in the top.
And the other thing is we talked about the plus minuses with the empty net. When you're on a good team, usually
Yeah,
it's the other team pulling their goalie, and then there's
yeah,
some free points to be had putting them in the empty nets, right?
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I had a two empty netters in the same game to get a Hattie earlier this year, so that was new for me. I never experienced that before.
Two
So
empty netters, and then you got a Hattie.
yeah, so that was a bit weird,
That's
but
living clean.
I will take it.
That's when you're having two small lunches. You're living clean. That's why you're getting the breaks.
Yeah, I hope that's the reason for sure.
It was actually like our kids' last game. We went to 12-0, 12-0 and 0,
Yeah,
folks. Yeah, we are perfect on the regular season, but we're not having our best game. We were up 2-0, and we had dominated the first period, played well, and then we thought it was going to be easy. Took our foot off the pedal and weren't good enough. They tie it up. There's like 3 minutes left, and like it ends in a tie, and it's like, man, this is going to ruin our perfect record. And then the kids made like everybody made the right play up the ice. The winger got it out. The centerman made the pass to the winger. He just misses it for the breakaway. It's just a little ahead of him. But then they get the puck in the ozone and it goes up to the point and he shoots it. It deflects up in the air, like up over the goalie's like trying to find it and it like drops behind the goalie's head into the net. And that's how we won. And I just tried to explain to them. I'm like, well, that's because you're playing hockey right. You're on the right side of the puck. You're making the right plays. And when you're doing those things, then all of a sudden you start getting the breaks, you know?
definitely. Yeah, it's always you have to get the good bounces when you do the right stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anyways, great catching up with you again, dude. And that's what I love about this is like I got new buddies around the hockey world that I didn't know anything about a year ago, you know?
Yeah, that's always fun.
It is fun. And it's fun when they run a muck, so keep up the good work.
Will do. Will do.
And folks in Lustenau, don't forget your yaps. Get involved, right? Shed family.
Yeah, it's
And
family
this
too.
has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Jesper and Wally.